What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome to my ups and downs part 2. This time we're going to be talking about all the players that are testing on the defensive side. Yeah, we're going to jump right into it, because the last time I recorded this, it was like 20 minutes, and I don't want to hold you guys for that long. The only difference from this one and we did the offensive one is I didn't mention a lot of the top players from the offensive side that didn't hurt their stock, didn't improve their stock, like tested as expected. And a lot of people are like, hey, why didn't you talk about this guy? Why didn't you talk about that guy? So I'm going to tell you the big names that just, maintained the same level that I expected them to be. So you get to hear how they did, in my opinion. So we're going to start first with the defensive line, and guys that maintained their value, I believe, was Bradley Chubb, Taven Bryan, Vita Valle, Marcus Davenport, and Harrison Phillips. Was Phillips putting up 42 on the bench rest. Vita Vea, we'll go Vea, I always butcher his name. 41, ran a 5.15, very good. But for guys that improved their stock, up number 1 goes to Rasheem Green from USC, ran a 4.73 and looked really, really crisp in his drills. A little bit undersized, could have gone with the edge rushers, but he is one of those guys that is young, left college a little bit early, and definitely has upside to add some more weight to his frame. So right now I'd classify him as a 3-4 edge rusher, but definitely it could grow into a 4-3 defensive tackle. So lots of upside there. Could sneak into the first round. I would guess probably going in the second round. Up number 2 goes to BJ Hill from North Carolina State at 6'4", 310 pounds, ran a sub 540 at 4.99 and put up 35 reps on the bench press. Had a really good Senior Bowl, and this combine definitely helped raise his stock. Could go anywhere between the second and third round. And up number 3 goes to Daron Payne from Alabama, the last of the big names. I think he improved his stock out of all those big names, running a 4.9 540, put up 27 reps on the bench press, and looked really, really good in the drills. I think of all the big names that we talked about at the top, I think Daron Payne definitely looked the most aggressive, I will say, in the drills. It was kind of timid for a lot of these players that weren't hitting the bags as hard as they should have. Lacked intensity, kind of looking like they're going through the motions, trying to go for speed versus power and technique, which is what a lot of the drills are actually designed to do. But Daron Payne really excelled in them. And the only down for the defensive lines, I'm giving it to Tim Settle from Virginia Tech. He didn't bench press, and as a nose tackle, it's one of the things I want to see at the combine. He looked kind of average in the drills. And if you look at mock draft sites and stuff like that, he was first round, second round grade. And when I watched tape, I was like, maybe. I mean, he has youth on his side. I think he's only 20, 21, so he's younger than some of these other players there, so there's upside. But I think ultimately I wasn't really impressed. It didn't change my opinion on him any. So I'm going to have to say right now he is my down from the defensive line group. Moving on to the edge rushers. Up number 1, I'm going to Lorenzo Carter from Georgia, 4.5 40 at 6'6", 250. Maybe not as technically refined as Leonard Floyd was coming out, but he definitely improved his draft stock, and I could definitely see him going in the second round. Up number 2 went to Josh Sweat from Florida State. Ran a 4.5 340, 39.5 inch vertical. Everyone knew he was going to be athletic, but we didn't know how athletic. He was injured, struggled staying healthy, so he doesn't have a whole lot of production at Florida State. I think some teams are going to gamble on his upside here because of the showing at the combine. Down number 1 for the edge rushers is Dorrance Armstrong Jr. from Kansas as an undersized edge rusher, only running a 4.87 and putting 20 up on the bench. Not good. His tape looked optimistic. I thought he might be able to sneak into the bottom half of the second round. Now looking like a limited athlete with good technical ability, he might slip. So he definitely hurt his draft stock a little bit here from his testing. And down number 2 is Uchenna Nwosu from USC. Just looked like an average athlete. Tested average in pretty much every single drill, and he looked every single testing aspect, and looked sloppy in his drill. So wasn't really impressed. Didn't really look like he had the aggression that needed or the intensity needed throughout the drills. So for me, I'm giving him a down. Moving on to the linebackers, got Roquan Smith, Malik Jefferson. Both those guys' draft stocks are going to remain unaffected because they tested as expected. So moving on, we're going to start with Shaquem Griffin, up number 1. Clearly, he was going to be up number 1. Wasn't in value to the combine. I made a decent viral tweet. I think I got a couple likes, saying that was utter embarrassment that he wasn't invited. Got the invite after the Senior Bowl. Ended up running a 4.38 40, the fastest 40 ran by a linebacker. 20 reps on the bench press and looked really, really solid in the drills. So he definitely won the combine for me out of any player and definitely improved his draft stock. I always, based off of his tape, kind of had him as 5th round, 4th, 5th round maybe. And I know a lot of people that were talking about it in mock draft stuff had him as like 6th round / priority free agent or something like that. But I think with this testing, he has definitely got himself into a chance that if a team really, really falls in love with him, could go 2nd, but my gut still says 3rd, 4th round, which is still really good for Shaquem Griffin. I'm definitely pulling for him. Linebacker number 2, let's get it up, is Tremaine Edmonds, who at 6'5", 255 pounds, ran a 4.5 440. Freak athlete. I didn't think he was going to run that fast. I knew he was going to look pretty good. I knew he was going to jump good. He had great wingspan, stuff like that. But 4.54, definitely giving you an up. Number 3 is Leighton Vander Esch from Boise State. Top 5 in most of the tests outside of the 40-yard dash. His spotter chart is off the chains, and he looked really, really good in the drills. So I definitely think he's locked himself in as a legitimate first-round talent. And up number 4 is going to Jerome Baker from Ohio State. Undersized, but ran a 4.53 40 and put up 22 reps on the bench press, showing off some of that upper body strength, which is something that, a lot of people question these speedier, undersized linebackers from Ohio State, Ryan Shazier in particular. So Jerome Baker definitely helped himself out here. And the down here for the linebackers is Darius Leonard. Undersized linebacker, ran a 4.7 40, put up 17 reps on the bench press. Pretty much the same size as Jerome Baker, 6'2", 230. And, on tape, he looked undersized and a little bit smaller. I don't know how that would transition to the NFL. And the testing kind of proved exactly that. And definitely, in my opinion, hurt his draft stock. A lot of mock drafts had him go in the 2nd round. Someone had him as one of their top 5 linebackers in this year's draft class. For me, never really lined up, and the combine kind of matches that. So those are your linebackers. Moving on to the defensive backs. Denzel Ward and Isaiah Oliver, both of their draft stocks pretty much remain the same here. Up number 1 goes to Duke Dawson from the Florida Gators. My Gators. Nickel corner, ended up running a 4.46 40. Had great hands in the drills. I think out of all the defensive backs, he had the best drills out of any of them. Looked incredibly crisp in all of them and executed. He's going to be a nickel corner at the next level, but usually nickel corners have that 4.5 speed, high 4.5s. Ran a 4.46 good straight line speed. Most nickel corners need to be quicker than fast. The fact that he's quick and fast definitely is going to help out his draft stock. Probably bumped him up a round. I originally had him as like a 4th rounder. Probably could go in the 3rd round now. And number 2 goes to Jair Alexander from Louisville, who coming off an injury had to prove that he was a legitimate athlete because his speed was, it wasn't like he looked slow on tape, but it was more so how fast is he, how good of an athlete is he. Ended up running a 4.38 40, and without overvaluing it and blowing it out of proportion because it's just straight line out of pad speed, definitely helped his draft stock here by pretty much reaffirming my opinion and a lot of people's beliefs that he is probably number 4, number 5 in that range for the cornerback rankings. And the only down here for me at the cornerback spot, I'm giving it to Josh Jackson. By running a 4.58, he's a little bit bigger of a corner, but I thought he was going to run like mid 4.5 or mid 4.4s, maybe high 4.4s, something like that, especially when you got other guys that are in that conversation, Oliver Ward, that are running faster than that. So he didn't help his draft stock with that, and honestly, in the drills, didn't blow me away. You figure, in my opinion, he's the best ball hawking corner in this year's draft class, that he'd wow you in some of the drills. He's like, all right, I didn't run that fast. Now it's time to really just show my actual skill set. Didn't really wow me. It wasn't like he did bad. It's not just like nothing jumped out. If I didn't know anything about these draft prospects and just watched this for the first time, Josh Jackson, who I still think is the number 1 corner, didn't really stand out. I wouldn't have been able to tell him out of all the other guys that were going through their drills. So for me, I'm giving him as a down. And then finishing here with the safety class, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Derwin James, and Jesse Bates for me did not hurt or affect their draft stock. Anyway, they all tested pretty much as expected. Troy Apke from Penn State gets the C4 Fast White Guy Award because everyone knows I was a fast white guy. And he ran a 4.35 40, which is simply outstanding. Probably got himself drafted like that. Special teams ability. But this is a great year to need safeties. All the safeties were very, very impressive and very, very fast. Number 1's going to Justin Reed from Stanford. Ran a 4.4 40. Originally, I saw him as like a Mike Mayock's top 5 safeties. I was like, I haven't watched a whole lot of him. I know he's Eric Reed's brother. I'm going to have to go back and watch it because that is great speed for a good NFL-sized safety. Number 2 is Godwin Igwebuike from Northwestern. Ran a 4.45, put up 19 on the bench press. You look at his tape, kind of looks like little bit of in the box, more so than a cover guy. But having that kind of speed, that kind of athletic ability, that must pose some questions to some teams that thought maybe he's just a tackler more than a cover. Because with that kind of athletic ability, you probably can develop a lot more coverage skills. Up number 3 is going to Dane Cruikshank from Arizona. Big body, 6 foot plus safety, running a 4.42 and putting up 25 reps on the bench press. We're going to keep going. Up number 4, Natrell Jamerson from Wisconsin. 4'4", 25 on the bench press, 6 feet plus, 200 pounds. Up 5, Trey Flowers, Oklahoma State, 4'5" at 6'3", 202. These 3 guys are getting like the Josh Jones Award. Josh Jones, everyone thought he was pretty good, but then he blew out the water with the 40-yard dash and a high bench press and got drafted fairly high by the Green Bay Packers. I think all 3 of these guys have massively improved their draft stock because there's one thing teams need. They're big-time safety. Because worst case scenario, you stick them on special teams so they can be a big-time special teams contributor as they learn the position, as they refine their mechanics. And these 3 guys with that kind of athletic ability that they showcased at the Combine definitely have improved their draft stock and could find themselves getting drafted between the 3rd and 4th round. So there you go, guys. Those are my ups and downs from the Combine. If you agree or disagree with anything, if I missed someone, or if there's someone that really stood out to you, let me know in the comment section below. If I had to give MVPs from the front 7 groups, it's got to go to Shaquem Griffin, clearly. He's probably the MVP of the entire weekend. And for the defensive backs, I'm probably going to have to give it to my boy Duke Dawson. I thought Duke Dawson was going to run a little bit slower, than what he did. And it kind of, as someone that watched a lot of Duke Dawson, I'm a big Duke Dawson fan, he kind of blew me away with how fast he was able to test there in the 40 and looked in the drills. Very, very nice. Put on for the real DBU, known as the Florida Gators. So if this is your first time stopping by, guys, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. There is plenty of draft content coming soon where we're going to get ready to work on our full 32-team 7-round mock drafts. I'm going to probably jump into that. Like right now, more so just refining my prospect list, and then maybe after 3 days of free agency where some of the big names land that could drastically change your draft board, that's when I'm really going to be able to work on that. But stay tuned for that. That is coming soon. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.